Worry is like a silent poison. It doesn't strike suddenly, but it slowly eats away at your energy, your focus, and your peace. It disguises itself as being prepared or realistic, but in truth, worry is often just fear trying to justify itself. We think that by constantly thinking about the worst case scenario, we're protecting ourselves. But what we're really doing is draining the joy out of our present moment. When you're worrying, you're not living. You're mentally rehearsing a future that hasn't happened yet and may never happen. That's the trap. The mind becomes consumed by possibilities, by what-ifs, by stories that haven't unfolded. And while we sit there trying to figure out how to prevent every bad outcome, life keeps moving forward without us fully present in it. Worry keeps us stuck in a loop, a cycle of overthinking, second guessing, and anticipating pain that hasn't even arrived. What most people don't realize is that worry activates your body's stress response the same way real danger does. Your heart races, your muscles tense, your breathing shortens, your brain starts scanning for threats, not just outside, but inside your own thoughts. Over time, this kind of chronic stress wears you down. It makes you tired, unfocused, reactive. It clouds your thinking and creates an emotional fog that makes even simple decisions feel overwhelming. Worry also tricks you into believing that you're in control, when in reality, you're just obsessing. You're mentally looping around problems, but not solving them. You're expending energy, but making no progress. And the worst part, it becomes a habit, a default setting. Eventually, the mind becomes so accustomed to worrying that when there's nothing to worry about, it goes looking for something. You start to believe that something must be wrong simply because things feel calm. That's how worry steals your present. It convinces you that it's keeping you safe, but really, it's keeping you stuck. You miss the beauty of what's happening right now. The conversations, the connections, the little wins, the stillness, the laughter. All because you're too busy thinking about what might go wrong next. And even when good things happen, worry can still ruin them. Instead of enjoying the moment, you start waiting for the other shoe to drop. You sabotage your own happiness with doubts like, "This is too good to be true," or "What if I lose this?" That's how worry becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Not because life is punishing you, but because you never allowed yourself to receive joy without fear. Worry also damages your confidence. It makes you question your decisions, your value, your abilities. It keeps you small, hesitant, and afraid to take risks. You become a prisoner to your thoughts, measuring every step against imaginary outcomes. Instead of moving forward with faith, you hesitate to act because you want a guarantee. And in that hesitation, opportunity slips away. The mind becomes louder than reality. The fear becomes louder than your intuition. And slowly, your identity starts to revolve around surviving, not thriving. You play it safe. You shrink your dreams. You start to live reactively, constantly responding to your fears rather than your hopes. All of this simply because you're trying to avoid pain. But in doing so, you're also avoiding life. Letting go is one of the most misunderstood, yet most powerful choices you can make in life. People often associate letting go with giving up, as if surrender means failure or weakness. But the truth is, letting go is not the absence of care. It's the presence of wisdom. It's knowing when to stop forcing, when to stop resisting, and when to create space for something greater than your control. We live in a culture that glorifies hustle, pressure, and perfection. We're told to grip tighter, to try harder, to fix everything on our own. But the more we try to manipulate life into what we think it should be, the more tangled we become. The more we try to micromanage outcomes, the more resistance we encounter. Because life is not a machine, it's a flow. And you can't flow when you're clenched with fear. Letting go is not about being passive or indifferent. It's an active decision to release the mental grip that's keeping you stuck. It means choosing trust over tension. It means shifting your energy from how do I control this to how do I align with this. The truth is, we're not meant to carry the weight of everything. We're not designed to predict every outcome or prevent every loss. And the more we try to, the more we exhaust ourselves mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Think of a clenched fist. You can't receive anything with your hand closed. You can't grab a new opportunity, feel peace, or even breathe freely when your entire being is locked in control mode. But when you open that hand, when you release your grip, there's space for new ideas, space for peace, space for clarity. Because clarity doesn't come through force, it comes through stillness. Letting go is how the fog lifts. It's how the noise quiets. It's how you begin to hear the whisper of your own intuition again. You start to see what's true for you instead of what fear is trying to convince you of. When you're constantly trying to force life, you're blinded by your own expectations. But when you let go, you start to see things as they are, not as you fear them to be. Sometimes we hold on to things, relationships, goals, timelines, identities, not because they're right for us, but because we're afraid of what life might look like without them. But that fear creates stagnation. It blocks evolution. It makes you defend comfort, even when comfort is quietly destroying you. Letting go is choosing discomfort today for alignment tomorrow. It's choosing growth over attachment. It's saying, I don't know exactly what's next, but I trust myself enough to release what no longer fits. This process doesn't happen once. It's a daily, moment-by-moment choice to release the need to control people's opinions, to release the need for instant answers, to stop carrying guilt, regret, or anxiety like it's your identity. Letting go is an act of faith in motion, and it clears the way for your life to breathe again. Trust is the invisible force that makes everything possible. Without it, you can have all the talent, all the knowledge, and all the opportunity in the world, but still stay stuck. Because trust isn't just about believing in external things. It's about believing in yourself, your path, and the unseen timing of life. Trust is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. And without that bridge, you never move forward. When we don't trust, we overthink, we hesitate, we second guess. We make decisions from fear instead of faith. Every step becomes exhausting because we're dragging the weight of doubt behind us. We feel the urge to control, to predict, to analyze everything, because we don't trust that things will be okay unless we personally guarantee the outcome. But here's the truth: you can't always see the full path until you start walking. Trust doesn't mean everything will go perfectly. It means you believe in your ability to adapt, to grow, and to rise regardless of what happens. It's not blind optimism, it's grounded confidence. It's the quiet inner knowing that you are capable of facing whatever life brings, even if the path looks uncertain right now. And it's that confidence, that deep-rooted trust, that unlocks momentum. Life responds to energy. When you move with fear, you create resistance. But when you move with trust, you create flow. You open doors. You become magnetic. People, opportunities, and insights begin to align with you. Not because everything is suddenly easy, but because you're no longer pushing them away with your doubt. Trust is also what allows you to be present. When you're always questioning what's ahead or regretting what's behind, you're not really living. You're surviving in your head. But when you trust that everything is unfolding as it should, even the hard parts, you stop trying to escape the moment. You stop resisting reality. You begin to notice beauty again, to feel peace again, to breathe again. It's in trust that real strength is found. Anyone can act brave when the path is clear, but it takes real courage to keep going when the road is foggy, when your plans fall apart, when you don't have all the answers. That's the moment trust steps in and says, keep moving. You're not lost. You're just being redirected. Every breakthrough you've ever had was built on a moment of uncertainty that you pushed through. Not because you had certainty, but because you chose trust. When you trust yourself, you stop waiting for permission. You stop asking the world to validate your dreams. You stop comparing your timing to others. You begin to own your decisions, your identity, your journey. Trust frees you from needing guarantees. Because instead of obsessing over outcomes, you start focusing on alignment. You begin to ask, what feels true for me? Instead of, what will they think? That shift changes everything. Want me to now write the full SEO description?